Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior, and welcome to a Fighter Pack 3 prediction video. Now I did do one of these quite a while back, that was a few months ago, and seeing as we know a lot more about the game now, including one of the people who are already in it, I figured that would be worth talking about this again and giving off my predictions for it and talk about some rumours that I hear currently going around about the Fighter Pack. Now as we all know, Atom has been confirmed, so really that only leaves us two spots for who we can kind of talk about here. Now the two contenders that I do see for this place is Enchantress and Mirror. Now I do have arguments for both. Now I've made it no secret that Warner Brothers love to do cross promotion within their products. It helps promote and propel them because marketing. And with the somewhat public negative reception that the Suicide Squad had got, they may want to bring a character here and help put them in a brighter light. Plus the headpiece can somewhat be taken as a bit of a giveaway, but Mirror does wear something very similar to that. Also we need to talk about the Suicide Squad in fact getting a sequel, and currently as of recording this video right now is in the very early stages of production, meaning that a script is still being put together, so they may put Enchantress here as DLC in order to propel that film. But in fact this rule can also be applied to Mirror, as she's due to in fact appear alongside Arthur in the new Aquaman film, which is scheduled to come out December next year. And seeing as it's recently wrapped up filming and it's currently in the editing process, they may throw her out here to kind of link the products together. But the only one problem that I do kind of see here is that we've already had someone from like the Aquaman family be featured as DLC, so the chances of getting two of those in a row can be seen as somewhat quite slim. But if you take into account their popularity, it's quite safe to say that Mirror is definitely on a higher pedestal than Enchantress. But if we talk from a gameplay perspective, as cool as hydrokinesis is, magic always in that sense kind of wins, because you can come up with the most absurd and crazy shit possible. So gameplay wise, Enchantress would probably be more interesting, but if we're purely talking of popularity and likability really, it's safe to say that Mirror is definitely the one who a lot of people would like to see in the game. Now if I were to pick one of the two, who would it be? Well, it's gonna have to go to Mirror, not just due to her popularity, but because we do have the Justice League film coming out in about 1.5 weeks, and she has been featured in the trailer. I think it might be safe to say that she'll appear as DLC. But now we come to the final one, which will probably be the most controversial of the bunch, seeing as, hey, I guess we're all kind of expecting a guest character at this point, and a lot of people are putting their money on Spawn. Well, I'm going to debunk some stuff here and say the likelihood of this happening as of right now is very slim. You see, Todd McFarlane, the creator and owner of Spawn, is currently right now reinventing the character for a newer generation and is trying to appeal to a very different audience that the standard superhero genre is kind of appealing to. You see, Todd McFarlane wants to recreate the character as more of a horror icon than a actual superhero based character. So an individual that's very horror based would seem to probably line up with something like Mortal Kombat 11 a lot more than it would Injustice 2. Now previously in one of my videos I had said that Todd McFarlane did like the idea of including someone like Spawn in Injustice. Well, just to clarify in that statement, Todd McFarlane had said this about Injustice Gods Among Us back in 2014, and since then hasn't said anything about Injustice 2. Now a lot of people will refer back to the popularity polls that Ed Boon had held on his Twitter and how Spawn won it. That would then make people say if Hellboy can get into it and he didn't win it, then Spawn definitely can. Well, that's not necessarily the case here. It comes down to licensing at the end of the day, and if Todd McFarlane himself is not interested in handing over the rights of the character over to WB for Injustice 2, then it will simply not happen. Seeing as Todd is the owner of the character, he can kind of do as he pleases. So really at the end of the day, it kind of falls on his shoulders to whether or not he'll have this character appear in Injustice 2 or Mortal Kombat 11 or in any fighting game at all. Another suggestion that I've heard, courtesy of one of my friends, SMG Princess, is Black Panther. Now her theory is extremely good, it's very well thought out and very well put together when you kind of do think about it, but there are kind of two problems here. The backlash would be huge for NRS and WB from incorporating another guest character from what can be seen as a rival studio. There would be people that would be happy, but people would also be extremely angry. So if they've learned anything from Fighter Pack 2 is that they really need to keep their community happy. We also need to take into account that Black Panther was DLC in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, so the incorporation of him being DLC again in another fighting game franchise is a bit of a far stretch. Now let's stray away from guest characters and talk about three contenders that a lot of people have been asking for. First one, and we do have to talk about this one, is Beast Boy. Now the sad truth is that I don't see the character lining up with the silhouette at all, and that the character is dead in the Injustice continuity. Now I'm not saying that the character in no way, shape and form can be involved in the game somehow, as hey, it's a DLC character, but as of right now, I do not at all see him being included in Fighter Pack 3, as no one on the marketing team have thrown out any hints or teasers at that Beast Boy. So for those of you who are praying for him in Fighter Pack 3, please do not hold on to that false hope, as it may really upset you if he doesn't make the cut. Now another one that I do see here is one John Constantine. We need some British love in there somewhere. Now Constantine, much like Beast Boy, hasn't really been hinted at, but let's look at him from a marketing perspective. Constantine gained a lot of fans during his very brief show on NBC. He was brought back later due to popularity and is getting an animated show that is scheduled to come out early 2018. Now I do know that the Teen Titans are getting their own kind of live action series that is scheduled to come out in 2018, but that's still in very early development, with casting only kind of just being sorted out a month or so ago. Plus Constantine, the animated series that's coming out next year, has been worked on for about a year now, so he's more or less ready out the gate to go hand in hand with a game tie-in along with his own TV show. And the final one I do want to talk about is the Watchmen character that everyone wants here, Rorschach. Now I personally would love to see this character get involved in some form of way, as the Doomsday Clock story arc is coming up soon after the whole Dark Knight saga is over, so if they did want a comic book tie-in, it would make sense to feature arguably the face of the Watchmen series in Injustice in some form of way. Plus there have been hints that they wanted to incorporate the Watchmen universe in the Injustice game in some form of way, and if there's any time to actually do it, it would be at the time where the Doomsday Clock story arc is about to begin, as it will be featuring the Watchmen cast. Now overall, who do I personally see making it into Fighter Pack 3? Well, Atom, I'm pretty sure that's a given. Mira to tie in with the movie universe, and Constantine to tie in with the TV animated universe. Plus if I go with Mira, we don't have two magic users in the same Fighter Pack. Now I will say that I'm most likely very wrong about this, as well I haven't featured a guest character on here, but I'm hoping they've learned from the last Fighter Pack by featuring two guest characters that us fans would like characters that actually stem from the DC comic book line itself. But as the saying goes, beggars can't be choosers. But yeah, that's my stand on Fighter Pack 3. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, and I've wanted to take this in a very different direction from most other people talking about this topic, as I believe it's a very interesting way of approaching stuff from a marketing standpoint. As much of a fan as I am of Injustice 2, I have to look at it from a critical eye to see the full picture here. But in saying that, this is just a predictions video and something I just kind of put together for fun. But I'm hoping that this video also gives the people who are watching it a good and different way of looking at DLC, and some rather interesting ways of how to predict something coming to light. But yeah, that's kind of it for now guys, and just a heads up, if you are a fan of Dragon Ball FighterZ, I'll be making a video discussing the story mode tomorrow and all the details you need to know before you do purchase the game, so please do keep an eye out for that if you are interested. Now before this video wraps up guys, if possible let's try getting it to about 500 likes. It's a great way of supporting this channel, as YouTube's ad system is broken as hell, so by giving it a thumbs up it helps out a ton. And if you'd like to go that extra step, we also have a Patreon set up. It still is in its very early stages, so if you do have the time to help out, a link for it will be in the description below. Now as always guys, please comment, like, subscribe and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care, and I'll see you all next time.